Three, two, one. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Dan Stephen here with another review. In this review, we're going to be finishing off, ending Mandalorian Season 2, Stephen. Season finale. What the fuck? So how much did you cry?
I didn't cry. I done my best not to. Well, in fairness, it didn't make me cry. I don't think.
A lot
Do you
of
know
people
what it is,
were
right?
really upset. Sorry, go ahead.
This is something that I've actually think the reason why I wasn't like emotional with it is because I watched Return of the Jedi like the other week. So it hasn't been that long since I've seen Luke and
Oh yeah,
R2-D2.
true.
So then I like watched Return of the Jedi because it made me want to, like, Mandalorian's made me want to go back and watch the originals again. So I've just finished Return of the Jedi and then I watched this last episode and it just kind of sunk in together. So
Yeah,
it hasn't. It's not
perfect.
as if it's not as if it's been 10 years since I've seen Luke Skywalker. It's literally I see him all right. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
well, but
A lot of people have
this. We
been,
might
like-
put spoiler all over this shit, mate.
What's that, sorry?
We may put spoiler all over this.
Oh yes, spoilers galore. But a lot of people have been talking about it and everyone's like, even we did that thing with the Banderflix guys last night. They're like, oh, we all cried our eyes out. I'm like, what was the sad part? Was the sad part of Luke being on screen, or was the sad part of Grogu and obviously Mando parting ways? Because I was more like really happy to see Luke. That way, I was more excited. I was like, I did get emotional, but I felt like it was happiness emotional. And then obviously I was so happy that R2 was there and Luke Skywalker was there, that when the Grogu and Mando part happened and he took off his helmet to say goodbye and it was fucking really touching, I was still happy that he was going to learn, become a Jedi. So that's why I didn't find it that emotional. But everyone online, it's been like, we bawled our eyes out for an hour afterwards. I've watched it 3 times and bawled every time. Like, am I dead inside?
Yeah. I think it's a mixture of both. I think with the Luke Skywalker stuff, a lot of people are still, obviously Rian Johnson, he tried to do his own thing with Star Wars. His whole message was like, let's, it's almost like an attack at fanboys, like leave the past behind. Like, we need new stories. And I appreciated his effort. Like, I think I can understand that approach because you can't always just keep going back and back and back and back. You kind of do need to progress the story. But what that meant was we never really then got to see Luke Skywalker at the height of his powers.
Yeah.
And only for this episode, that's the first time we've seen Luke actually, other than in a fucking comic book or anything like that, like, it's the first time on screen we've seen Luke go in at the height of how powerful a Jedi Master is. Like, you've seen, like, this story, the whole Mandalorian has built up how good the Mandalorian is, even in combat. And you've seen how hard it was for him to tackle one of these fucking Death Troopers. And Luke just minced through about 40 of them as if they were nothing. And it's like, how powerful is he? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. It's spot on. And I think Rian Johnson gets a lot of flack. And then, not saying deservedly so, because he did try something different. But if you're finishing off the Skywalker, like, trilogy or, like, saga, you can't tell us in between the last trilogy that forget the past, kill it if you must. That's what Kylo Ren says. He could have almost. I think Rian Johnson should have been given his own trilogy, like, almost separate from this here. But to be fair, we have had so much issues with the new trilogy. It's all over the place. There's no fucking proper dialogue on the storyline or the script or the characters. But The Mandalorian is probably the best thing I've seen since the originals. I think everyone's in agreement with that there. But it's so. So this obviously episode is called The Rescue, is it?
Yep.
So obviously it's about the rescue of Baby Yoda, Grogu, from Mos Gideon, not to. They join forces with Bo-Katan and they fucking kick fucking ass. But what was your opinion on Mos Gideon's, like, feeble attempt to get away? I felt like he's been such a badass for this whole 2 seasons, and I felt I'm not slinging off Mandalorian because it was an amazing TV show, but I'm just thinking, like, that body wasn't as bad as I thought, because Mando beat him no sweat. It wasn't much of a fight between them two. You know what I mean? So how was Mos Gideon going to actually compare to anyone else?
Yeah, I think I never really thought he was, like, Moth was going to be a villain in the sense that he was going to be amazing at combat. I think from the Empire's perspective, that, and if you think about it, the reason why they want Grogu and why they want to use his blood is because that person who's amazing at combat, like a fighter, doesn't exist anymore. So, like, if you have to think about it like this, if Moff Gideon was amazing at fighting, then they wouldn't really need the blood of
Okay.
Grogu. So
Sorry,
do you know what I mean?
I don't mean fighting per se, but I feel like his feeble attempt
Yeah.
to get away. He's like, oh, you just decided to run and stand over Grogu with your Darksaber, which was a bad, a cool ass scene. But that was it. You didn't have like a contingency plan. You didn't have like a
I think he
escape
did.
pod.
Though. I think he did in the sense that he was never going to predict that Luke Skywalker was going to turn up. Like if Luke Skywalker doesn't turn up, he wins.
Oh yeah, true.
So
but did he know the Death Troopers were gonna come
yeah, I
back?
think he knew that was going to be the problem the whole way through, and he
Okay.
also knew as well when he fought Mando, there was a chance that he was going to lose, but that means he loses the Darksaber, which means Bo-Katan can't take it. So he
Okay.
also I think they've done it okay. I think they could have done it a bit better and a bit cleaner, but I think they've done it okay in the sense that they've got a bad guy who almost all up until the Luke Skywalker bit, even for us watching it, it doesn't look like it's going the way that he wants it to go, but it actually is. Like he's
Yeah.
thinking the Death Troopers are going to win here. He's also fucked up the whole Bo-Katan thing, and he's going to get away in the end anyway with Grogu. So I think
True.
up until
Okay.
that point, and then Luke just went, no, that's not
Yeah.
how this is going down.
Okay, sorry, yeah, you're probably right. I wanted him. It's kind of like what happened in the sequels with Snoke. It's just like you wanted the body to be more badass, and maybe we're gonna get that next season. Maybe it's gonna be maybe it's gonna be Thrawn or something like that. But I think I just wanted a wee bit more. But you're probably right because he was going to win up until that point because they had no chance against the Death Troopers. But so moving this episode was amazing, and it's probably one of the best episodes of the season. But very little happened. All it was like they boarded the ship. It was like apart from that scene with Luke Skywalker and stuff, which was amazing, and R2 coming in, beeping, beep, 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 amazing. It was very simple. Again, typical Mandalorian fashion, simple and straightforward. But there's so much going on in that sense. But moving forward into the next season, obviously season 3 is already confirmed. What can we expect, or what do you think we can expect?
I'm not sure. I think, as you say, like the reason why this episode works so much is because it followed the Mandalorian pattern. We need like the Mandalorian is there's a quest that we need to do. Let's go and do it. And this here episode was just the finale of him going to do a quest that involved getting Grogu back. Next season, I have absolutely no idea what they're going to do. I don't know whether or not. I don't know if it's purposeful. It was mentioned when we done the Banterflix podcast last night that they were saying like Mandalorian in this season, if you really look at it and if you're honest, he has been. He's not as prominent as he was in the first one. There has always been, nearly every episode, there's been another character that's almost overshadowed him. Even in the first episode with, what do you call him? Fuck, the guy from Deadwood. Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant?
Yeah,
The Marshal?
He kind of overshadowed him in that episode with the Boba Fett stuff, and then I'm not going to say the Frog Lady did because she definitely didn't. But we had Ahsoka with Bo-Katan. We had Bill Burr's character as well, kind of overshadowed him. So I don't know if maybe next season it's going to be, because the show is called The Mandalorian, and it is about. It could be about the all of the Mandalorians. It could be basically a battle, like it could be like the Game of Thrones thing. You know, the way I'm viewing it is, our Mandalorians, like Jon Snow, he actually has the right to the throne now, but he doesn't really want it.
Yeah.
And it could be like a Game of Thrones thing on Mandalore, like who.
Oh, don't be the same ending though.
No,
Season 8 of Game of Thrones. No, Stephen, don't tell me that.
no. Yeah, it could be something, but it could be. I think that's what they're trying to go down. Like, we now have Mandalore, who is the rightful king of Mandalore. Well, it's actually Din, but then Bo-Katan. I think they might fight. I don't know. It's interesting. It's completely up in the air.
I just don't like. I don't like sometimes forced conflict because it's the same as in Game of Thrones. I know it's been like 2 years and we're still going on how bad Game of Thrones ended, but the whole conflict between like Jon Snow and obviously, what do you call it, Daenerys again. It's like he doesn't want to be king and you want to be queen. Happy days. But he's like, oh, but you're the right. It's kind of like what's happening now between obviously Mando and obviously Bo-Katan. It's like they're forcing this conflict which doesn't need to be. It's like almost like quite cheap. So I don't think they're going to go down that route. I honestly don't. I think that's they're forcing this rather than actually letting it play it naturally. And on your comment about Mando being obviously a second part character in this season, I don't think so, man. I think he's in every scene and he plays just as vital role as everyone else. We've seen a lot of Mando in the first season anyway, so we know his backstory. We kind of know who he is as a person. Now we're just going to see him grow as a person, and we've seen that throughout the season. Like, now he's taken off his helmet. He took off his helmet twice this season. You know, like, something that would that would have never happened in the first season. Like, he would have killed Grogu before he took off his helmet.
Yeah,
But he's taking
no,
off his
I
helmet to say
100%.
goodbye.
Like,
So,
the show
but
is about him, and
Yeah.
all I'm saying is, and throughout the whole show, like, they've showed his character progression. But if you compare him to the first season, like, he's the most badass stuff that's happened this year has not happened with him. Like, almost everything, like, you know, you look at the Ahsoka episode, the biggest badass moment in a Ahsoka episode was Ahsoka.
Yeah.
The Bo-Katan episode, it was her. The Bill Burr episode, it was him that took the shot that blew up the thing. It was him that destroyed the... And then in the last episode, it's Luke Skywalker. So I'll just mean, like, from a kick-ass fucking he's the man, there wasn't really, other than the first episode when he destroyed the fucking dragon creature, there wasn't the same level. And I think it's completely purposeful. It's not a criticism. I think they're doing it on purpose because they're trying to build a better, like, a more, like, a bigger universe and bigger characters. But like, I just think it's noticeable that he has, in my opinion, from the action point of view, he took a bit of a backseat. Like, even whenever the Death Troopers took Grogu, he's like running up a hill. And I'm like, this is the first season, he would fucking stop that. You know what I mean?
I do get that 100%, but I just think because sometimes you can have too much of that. We had the whole season where he was a badass, so had the second season where it's the same thing. I think you kind of need to expand on the characters and expand on the universe, and I think they brought in character. They've done it really well. They didn't shoehorn Boba Fett in the first season, which a lot of people thought was going to happen. You kind of let it happen naturally. You kind of brought him in slowly, and they brought in Bo-Katan, they brought in Ahsoka, and they brought back Luke Skywalker in the same season, and it never felt rushed. It never felt shoehorned. So I think Dave Filoni and obviously Jon Favreau get a lot of credit for that there. But okay, the post-credit scene.
Still haven't
You
watched
didn't.
it.
You still haven't watched it.
No.
So I should have told you about it. So yeah, but you know what happens? Boba Fett returns to Jabba's lair, and it's obviously Jabba's right hand man, the squid guy. He's obviously trying to be Jabba the Hutt. Boba Fett kills him and sits in Jabba the Hutt's seat, and it comes across the screen. Comes across the screen. A book. The book of Boba Fett coming like December 2021. So obviously, I thought straight away, it's gonna be a book. But then everyone online saying it's a TV show.
Yeah, I think it is.
So why do you call it the book?
I think it just means a story, really. I think they're calling it a book because it goes with Boba, like a BB. They're using the wordplay just, but yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we did, when you think back to whenever they mentioned the Mandalorian, we all kind of wanted like a gangster underground Star Wars. And from a Mandalorian point of view, we didn't really get that. We got like a Western. We got like a Western feel. We didn't really get a gangster feel. And I think this is ripe for that theme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a Goodfellas in Star Wars, you know?
Yeah. And I thought for a period of time, I was like, is Boba Fett a good guy now? I was like, no way he's a good guy. And then that scene happens, like, nah, he's still a gangster. You know what I mean? Like, so we're going to see the real Boba Fett probably. But yeah, it's just like we've seen so much TV shows spawn from this year. I thought we were going to get a Bo-Katan TV show, was probably going to focus on the Battle of Mandalore. But I think now the Mandalorian is probably going to go with her because he took off his helmet. He's obviously probably going to join that creed and help her. Maybe that's the next season then, and then we're going to see Grogu. But a lot of people online are obviously worried for Grogu's safety now, Stephen, because we obviously seen in Last Jedi that Ben Solo, Kylo Ren's character, fucking destroys the school and kills everyone in it. So does he kill Grogu? Hopefully not.
See, my thing is as well, like, if they're building this character up to be, you know, a potential new Yoda, something has to happen to him because we had that. Unfortunately, we had that trilogy that we've already seen, and he's not fucking in it. And you know what I mean. And last thing I want is another trilogy after that, and like he's been in the background, and you're like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many, like the background? How much background is there? You can't just keep having these fucking amazing kick-ass characters in the background. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I think something has to happen to him, and unless he does go dark side, there's potential for him to go dark side because obviously Luke, you know, he's always kind of tittered on the edge of it. Like he kind of went dark side to beat Darth Vader. So, I don't know.
Alright, so season's over. Is this season better than season 1?
Yes.
Oh, I agree. I think it is. But again, reason why season 2 is so good because season 1 laid the groundwork for it. You know, it laid the groundwork for the character of Mando, and actually it moved in this season. So I don't want to say the seasons. You need season 1 to get season 2, but yeah, season is definitely kind of elevated the storyline a bit more and elevated the Star Wars universe a bit more.
I think what season 1 had, you know, the advantage for season 1 was it was new and it was exciting, and it almost didn't need to be as good as it was for us to still enjoy it, because you got to see, like, this is what Star Wars looks and feels like. Like, the story was always going to be secondary because it was just so good to be back in that world. But when you go into the second season, that kind of way wears off now. Like, that scenery we're used to seeing, it just needs to be good. And it was good. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think season 1, not that it was weak, I think it was brilliant, but it could have been weaker. The second one, there would have been no chance. That had to be good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, what do you rate this episode out of 10?
I think we'll go 9.5.
9.5? Jeez, you're hitting these really high.
Man, Luke Skywalker just come back and destroy Death. What do you want? Like,
I don't think I give an episode a 9 yet.
Well, you give this one a 9 then.
I give it a 9 because it fucking looks in it, man. Apart from the CGI being a bit cheap looking, but it's still really good. But I think next season, if Luke's going to play a bigger role, which I hope he is, they need to get an actor to play him, aka Sebastian Stan. I think that's.
Yeah. I think they will.
You go online, that's everywhere now, so I think that's going to happen. But I'll go same as you, 9.5. Fuck it. It was a great episode. We got to see Luke Skywalker, and we got to see fucking Grogu saying goodbye to Mando, which was fucking the thing that I feared the most, and I didn't want it to happen. I thought Mando was gonna like oversee his training, maybe, and kind of be with him, like a father and son relationship. But no, we're not gonna see that anymore. But yeah, 9.5.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching the video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Just to let you know, we've got similar content available on the channel if you want to check it out.
We also do our own podcast called MCPodcasting, where we cover a range of topics from politics, sports, and even movies.
We basically just talk a lot of shit.
We argue a lot as well on it there, but all the links are below. We're on all major platforms, Spotify, iTunes, and is there any other?
That's the main ones, yeah.
Yeah, it's the main ones.
Just check out the podcast, and if there's any sort of videos you want us to react to, drop us a comment on the YouTube videos, and we'll be sure to check it out.
Or if you want to make fun of us, then go ahead. We don't care.
Be nice.
Be nice.
In fairness, we don't really get that many comments.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me.
Okay.